Do you think it's important for someone to consume a mini VSL prior to booking a call? One of the big constraints in the DMs right now is we have the flow, we have the chat, and people respond pretty well. But then there's a massive drop off because we're having them watch like a 6 minute video.
This is kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, where you can over index your way into like creating a problem where one didn't exist. Like, remember, we said all you need to do is increase ad spend here. So now if you start trying to change the VSL and remove the VSL, you might get more bookings, but now your close rate might drop as well. Like, you might have people that are
Mm.
less qualified that are getting on the calls with you. So that's an example of like one of those 20% things that I would test, right? And this goes back to, I'm actually publishing a YouTube video on this, but I call it the critical constraint method. You need to identify what your real constraint is right now. And so all these other things that you're talking about, like, the VSL, stuff like that, that's not the critical constraint. And what I have seen, people at your level, the reason why their business doesn't scale the way they want to is not because they're not great at solving problems. It's because they're solving too many problems at the same time and they're all connected. And so for you, I wouldn't touch it. Like, I'll answer your question because you asked. Do I think it's necessary? No, I don't think it's necessary. You would just have to lean more on the sales team to be absolute studs. And also maybe post booking, that's when they watch the VSL. That's definitely a possibility as well. But that's not something I'd be testing right now. Like, that's not the constraint. The constraint is not I'm not getting enough bookings. Your constraint is you're not spending enough money on ads and you don't have enough salespeople. I would solve that stuff first, and then if you came to that point, it'd be like, cool, let's test. For these people here, we're not going to send them to the VSL. We're going to have them book right away. And then the VSL is on the thank you page. Let's take 10%, 20% of the traffic and do that for our best closer. And what if you doubled the booking rate and the close rate only dropped by 5% or something like that? Well, now you just substantially lowered your cost per acquisition. But there's also a chance that you double your booking rate, but your close rate drops by 50% or 60% or 70%. And now you're essentially getting on more calls to make the same amount of money. Now you have to hire more salespeople, and it's a clusterfuck down the road. So
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
to just stay brutally focused on what the true constraint is. And like, I have a Google Doc called Ravi's Big Ideas. Like, you can just type that in there, and then whenever the time comes, you can like maybe go back and
Yeah, yeah.
revisit it. But it's almost like the art of saying no, the art of not doing the changes when you know you could do them. If you want my help installing any of these systems in your business done for you, be sure to book a call with my team down below.